Charging an electric car can take as little as 17 minutes with an ultra-rapid charger, or more than 48 hours with a portable charger supplied with your vehicle. So charging time depends on a huge array of factors, from the size of the battery to the electrical output and hardware of the charging point and your car. Electric car battery, say 70 kilowatts, requires 10 hours to fully charge from empty to full using a 7 kilowatt hour charging point, like a typical Tesla wall connector or another brand installed by an electrician in your house. Newer electric cars are being fitted with larger batteries that can utilize more powerful ultra-rapid EV charging stations. The thing about the ultra-rapid charging stations is that they're not everywhere, and they're mostly on routes between capital cities. This is because they're mostly used by people wanting to get somewhere fast and doing longer journeys or trips. If you're in the city, not as required. Let's take a look at some examples of the most popular electric cars in Australia and how fast they charge. Keep in mind the fast charging times here is from 20 to 80%, which is typical amount of charging you do when traveling long distance and plugging in a fast charger. And so you can also plug your car into a standard Aussie 240 volt power point. This is called level 1 charging. And although this is much slower, a lot of people do it. It is quite convenient, but it does take over 20 hours to go from 0 to 100%. Most people, though, will be topping up their car as they need it. But if you do need a faster charger at home, or you're on a road trip, here are the times for different cars and compared. So for a Tesla Model 3 and Y, level 2 charging is 6 hours and 15 minutes. Fast charging, 25 minutes. For a BYD Atto 3, level 2 charging is 9 hours, 45 minutes. For fast charging, it's 37 minutes. For a Nissan Leaf, which has been on the market for a little while, it's 12 hours and 45 minutes for a level 2 charger, whereas fast charging is 43 minutes. So you can see the comparison here between some different models. If for the fastest on the market that I could find, the Porsche Taycan at a level 2 charger can do 7 hours and 45 minutes, but the fast charging is at 17 minutes. So this equates to 1,030 kilometers an hour of charging if the battery was that big. The range per hour for charging an electric car is dependent on the electric car's battery size, efficiency, and the cargo that it is carrying when it is driving as well. Why do people talk about 20 to 80% when talking about fast charging numbers? The car slows down charging when it goes from 80 to 100%. And most people only charge it up to 80% when doing a road trip. Why does it take longer to go from 80 to 100%? This is because it is much harder to put electricity into the battery when it gets fuller. It also protects the car from the battery wearing out. 95% of electric car charging is at home or at work, and only 5% use the DC fast charging stations. So instead of going to the petrol station, you can simply plug in your vehicle when you get home and then set it to charge. You could also set it to charge when your solar is cheap and you're getting cheap electricity. And a lot of cars have settings that allow you to time it, etc. By not having to go to the petrol station whenever you need to get some more petrol, and by just plugging in the moment you get home, you can save yourself hundreds of hours of time each year. And I think for a lot of people this will be massive, because when petrol is cheap, people are queuing outside petrol stations trying to find the closest one, or you have to keep track of petrol prices all over the year and over the time, maybe looking at an app. So it just lowers the stress. You can just come at home, plug in, and your car is charged in the morning. And a lot of people love that simplicity. DC chargers do provide the fastest charging for electric cars, providing between 50 to 350 kilowatts of power. That compares to the charging stations at home. So if you were to install one, rather than just plugging it in like we mentioned earlier, you would get about 7 kilowatts, which is on a single phase connection. That gives you about 40 kilometers of range per hour of charging. Victor here, my producer, only charges up every 2 nights and finds that with 2 cars that he's able to just juggle it between the 2 cars, and with the kilometers and distance that he travels each day, it's perfectly fine just to plug it in. He hasn't gone to the effort of getting an electrician to install a box in his house. It's just using the wall charger.
Yes.
So Teslas also don't come with a wall charger anymore. You will have to go out and buy one. There are different ranges of chargers too. Some of them let you charge at a higher rate too if you have a special plug like they do in caravan parks. And this lets you charge it at a higher rate if the electricity supply allows you to. Some people also like to charge wherever they park. So if you're heading to a supermarket or a gym or their workplace, and those places have an EV charger or a power point that you can find. But this is called destination charging, and it's usually offered by the owner of the establishment to entice people with EVs to come and visit and spend time at the premises. And if they're doing this, they sometimes provide it for free. There are some apps out there that help you find it as well. You can use PlugShare, and that's a great way to find them, either near you or where you're going. That's everything that you need to know about how long it takes to charge an EV. If you enjoyed this type of content, like and subscribe to see more.